DocTalk is brought to you by Merck Animal Health. At Merck Animal Health, we're shaping the future of animal health with pioneering science, connected technology, and insights-driven solutions to bring our customers an unparalleled portfolio of choices to improve cattle care and operational efficiency. We support you and your legacy by helping you meet the challenges of today with the innovations of tomorrow.
Hey folks, welcome to DocTalk. We're going to have a great show. Dr. Matt Spangler from the University of Nebraska at Lincoln is going to be our guest today. We're going to talk about genetics, bull selection, and things you can do to improve the profitability of your cow herd. Stay tuned.
When you spot BRD in your cattle, that's your golden opportunity to target infection and its associated fever with a single dose of Resflor Gold, the industry standard dual therapy. To learn more, talk to your Merck Animal Health rep or your vet and see label at resflorgold.com. Animals intended for human consumption must not be slaughtered within 38 days of treatment. This product is not approved for use in female dairy cattle 20 months of age or older, including dry dairy cows.
Hey folks, welcome to DocTalk. I'm Dr. Dan Thompson and we have Dr. Matt Spangler from the University of Nebraska. We're here in Lincoln in the Animal Sciences Department where Dr. Spangler serves as the Professor of Animal Genetics and he is the Extension Beef Genetics Specialist for the state of Nebraska, and let's just be honest, everywhere, okay? It isn't, we'd like to confine him in one space, but this guy is a genetic specialist for our industry that is doing just such great work for all of us in the United States and beyond. So thanks for being here.
Well, thanks for the invitation.
You bet. Okay, so when we were talking, we're kind of setting this up, we talked about bull selection and you know, the commercial cow-calf man and that, and you know, it's not something you just bring out a bull catalog on your way to the sale and circle one, is it?
No, it's not. And I would argue that bull selection is really a year-round activity. So there's not maybe bulls to be bought year-round, but the decision of what does my ranch need? What are the profit drivers to my enterprise? That's something that needs to get sorted out long before bull sale season. And we would call that identifying what your breeding objective is. So if I retain replacement heifers, then I have a different breeding objective, a different set of traits that drive my profit than if every calf born, regardless of sex, is being sold at weaning or headed to the feedlot. So identifying, do I keep replacements or not? What's the point of sale of my calves? Weaning? Am I retaining ownership? Those things help determine what are the economically relevant traits for you. And then more than that, knowing, well, how do my calves actually perform? And how do my calves or cows perform? What do they weigh? What are the preg rates? That starts to tell me where I need to put more emphasis. And all of those things really need to be sorted out long before bull sale season time.
So after we figure some of those out, what's my next step?
The next step is, okay, so I know what the profit drivers are, and I know maybe where my herd is a little bit weak right now. Then from there, it's kind of deciding, well, is my breeding system in check? So in other words, am I using the right breeds to try to do what I want to do? Am I leveraging things like heterosis appropriately? Some of those things can get decided early on, again, before there's ever sales that roll around.
Yeah, and we talk about heterosis and you know, there can be within breed heterosis, I mean, it's not the correct term, but yeah. And a crossbreed, right?
Yeah, and so I think a lot of times, and let's use Angus because that's the largest beef breed. There's more Angus cattle to sort from than any other breed. A lot of times people think, well, if I take this sire line within Angus and cross it with animals from this sire line, because they're distantly related, I'm going to get some heterosis. Well, the reality is those within breed crosses, even amongst really unrelated animals, are never going to provide the amount of heterosis that we'll see from a crossbreed matings. And even more than that, the more distantly related the breeds are, the more heterosis we get. So we would call Black Angus and Red Angus different breeds. The reality is they're close enough that when we cross them, we don't see noticeable heterosis. Now, I'm not advocating if you live in the Dakotas or Minnesota that you go out and find Brahman cattle to mate to your Angus, but you have to keep in mind that using more divergent breeds gives you more heterosis.
I think it's great information. We're lucky to get him here, Dr. Matt Spangler. We're here at University of Nebraska. We'll be right back.
This Cattle Intel is brought to you by Neogen.
When giving injections to cattle, selection of the proper needle is important. In doing so, you must consider the route of administration and the size of the animal. The route of administration will determine the length of the needle. The routes of administration will either be subcutaneous, intermuscular, or intravenous. You will determine that route of administration by properly reading the label of the product. A shorter needle will be used for subcutaneous injections, and a longer needle will be utilized for intermuscular and intravenous injections. When selecting the proper size of the needle based on diameter or gauge, smaller diameter needles will be utilized for smaller animals and larger diameter needles for larger animals, but understanding that a larger number in gauge equates to a smaller diameter needle.
Thanks for watching Cattle Intel by Neogen.
Are you a cattle feeder looking to manage for a stronger and more profitable set of cattle? Look no further than Igenity Feeder. Igenity Feeder utilizes DNA to gain insight into your cattle's genomic potential, with the information to predict performance, quality, and economic endpoints for cattle feeders. Animals are scored and ranked in a simple format, driving more precise and accurate management decisions. Igenity Feeder gives you the power to predict days on feed, manage variability within lots, characterize carcass performance, and focus on metrics important to you and your operation. With the data provided, you will identify superior animals earlier and maintain high operational efficiency. Maximize your profit and optimize performance with Igenity Feeder.
They're here, they're hungry, and they can't be stopped with ivermectin. Choose Safeguard when you deworm your cattle to take out resistant parasites like brown stomach worm, Cooperia, Nematodirus, and others. With Safeguard's efficacy, you can kill more resistant worms in your cattle, so you don't leave potential on the table. Consult your veterinarian for the diagnosis and treatment of parasitism. Then bite back at safeguardworks.com.
Hey folks, welcome back to DocTalk. Dr. Dan Thompson here at the University of Nebraska with Dr. Matt Spangler. And Dr. Spangler is a professor of animal genetics, and he serves as the Extension Beef Genetics Specialist here at the University of Nebraska at Lincoln in the Animal Sciences Department. And if you've picked up a beef genetics article or looked in the published literature, this guy's name's on it. And so we're very fortunate to get him on the show. As we were discussing offset, using information to market your calves is something that is probably going to become more common than not, right?
Yeah, I think so. And part of the reason is I think our industry at large is beginning to recognize the fact that there is value in better, however better is defined, genetics in the feed yard. There are some cattle that convert better, that grade better, etc., than others, and part of that's due to genetics. The problem is that when calves come out of a sale barn wherever, you're kind of buying them a little bit blind.
Yep.
Maybe you know color, maybe you know the ranch they came from, but knowing more than that, it just isn't available. And so I think at least some feed yards, some segments of our industry are saying, man, I wish I knew more so that I could inform the buy. Yeah. So I could pay more or pay less, honestly, for calves based on how I think they might perform.
And we see it, you know, the two things that drive the economics is in the feed yard is what I pay for them and what I get paid for them are the two biggies. And you know, if I don't know what they're going to do when I grid them or sell them to someone, you know, on contract, it just helps everybody make more money, because feeders will pay a cow-calf man more if we know what's going to happen on the back end.
That's exactly right. At least that's certainly what I would think. But part of the issue is if a commercial cattle producer typically sells their calves at weaning, there's the thought that, why do I care about how they're going to perform in the feed yard, because I'm not getting paid for that.
Right.
So as a consequence, when they select bulls, they might put no emphasis on carcass weight or marbling. And so there we have cattle in the system that are really a drag on the economics of the system, because they're just not going to perform. So the idea is, if a cattle producer, maybe they can say, I can verify what sires were used. Maybe more than that, not only what sires, but here's where they ranked within the respective breed for carcass traits or for terminal indexes. So I know that. That then can provide information to a feedlot that says, all right, these seem like they're worth more money to me. Or maybe you don't have that information, so now there's risk, and I don't want to pay as much for that risk.
And I think you're seeing it like with Superior now, where they have some certified bulls or certified genetics that they will advertise on there, and those bulls, based on the studies from Tonser and them, it's $20-25.
There's definitely a profit spread in calves from different sires based on the sire's genetic potential. We see some programs offered by beef breed associations now focused on this, and I think we'll see more in the future.
It's great information. We're going to take a break. After we come back, more with Dr. Matt Spangler.
Founded by farmers, for farmers, United Patriot Coin stands with you. Diversify your financial portfolio with precious metals, a smart investment for uncertain times. You've worked too hard not to protect your assets. United Patriot Coin, precious metals for a secure future.
Success in the cattle business hinges on a lot of different people playing their part. From the vet to the cowboy and the nutritionist to the feed truck driver, you rely on them to get their job done right, and so do your cattle. Your expectations for the vaccines you use should be no different. Bimeta's cattle vaccines were developed and are made and sold by men and women in the cattle business. No smoke and mirrors, just real-world protection that you can rely on. Go to bimetabiologicals.com to learn more.
In the livestock industry, castration is a common practice to ensure proper herd management. All methods are painful, regardless of the age of the animal. At Solvit, we could not ignore the clear industry need for better castration solutions. So we developed Lidoband, a novel lidocaine-impregnated elastrator, addressing the pain associated with band castration. It provides local anesthesia throughout the castration process. Lidoband, a small device that can make a big difference.
Ranchers, looking to elevate your pasture management game? Turn to Heinen Brothers for expert aerial application. With state-of-the-art equipment and seasoned pilots, we deliver precision treatments right to your fields. From fertilizers to herbicides, Heinen Brothers has your pasture covered. Visit HeinenBrosAg.com to learn more.
When the ones who have your heart need your help, count on us for everything they deserve, delivered fast. We'll work hard for you so you can work hard for your dreams.
Hey folks, welcome back to DocTalk. Dr. Dan Thompson here with Dr. Matt Spangler, who is a professor of animal genetics at the University of Nebraska, and he serves as the Extension Beef Genetics Specialist for people all over. And you know, if you ever get a chance to come to a meeting that Dr. Spangler is speaking at, I highly recommend it. And look for the University of Nebraska. What they do on the extension side is just remarkable for beef cattle, and this is one of the foundational cornerstones, so we're glad to have you. So Talk to me a little bit about where cow size or milking ability and that kind of plays into profit and just the industry in general.
Yeah, so cow size and let's just say lactation potential are drivers of cow cost.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, we can't really measure how much a cow eats when they're out there in extensive production systems. So we use cow size largely, but also lactation potential as kind of proxies for that. And we have seen across a large number of breeds an increasing trend for mature cow size and what we would call milk. Now, breeds would argue they've, at the purebred level, in some cases started to decrease that, but there's a pretty big lag between that and what happens at the commercial industry. So we still see a lot of large commercial cows, which means that commercial cattle producers' input costs have probably gone up to try to run those large cows. That's probably been in pursuit of larger weaning weights, larger yearling weights, larger carcass weights. But unfortunately, that's led to large cow weights, but that can be reversed. Mature weight in cattle is highly heritable, 60% heritable.
Wow.
So we can reverse it just as fast, but we have to do it with intent. So we have to say we want cows that are going to be smaller. Choose bulls that are going to make smaller mature size daughters. And the benefit is if I have a fixed land base, I can run more cows on that fixed land base if I decrease cow size.
Yep.
So I'm basically putting more widgets through the system. And then when feed availability is short, I'd argue that those cows that need less to maintain themselves are going to breed up better. So you'll see a bump in fertility rate as well. The challenge is commercial producers have to know what their cost is, and a lot don't.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that you make some great points on it all goes back to maintenance requirement and lowering that maintenance requirement, and you either got to have a cow the same size with a lower maintenance requirement, or we're going to have smaller cows with the same.
Yeah, that's right. And unfortunately, we don't do a good job of determining, well, on the same mature cow size, is there a difference in maintenance energy? Because they're out on range. We don't know what they're eating. So the best we can do is say, on average, smaller cows probably need less for maintenance, and cows that milk less probably need less for maintenance as well, because their visceral organs aren't as big. So I think that's a place where commercial cattle producers wanting to improve profit, not just revenue, should look at potentially moderating cow size.
Yeah, I think you're right. We continue to get pushed to feed these cattle bigger, just because we're selling a carcass and we have fewer numbers. But if we can raise the calves to the same weight with a smaller cow, we generate the best of both worlds.
I agree, and it's not impossible at all to have a big fed steer out of an 1,100-pound cow. That's a very doable thing.
It's great. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll wrap up with Dr. Matt Spangler here at the University of Nebraska. Hey folks, for your firearm and ammo needs, for gun safes and much, much more, and to have it personalized, come visit us at United Patriot Supply outside of Seneca, Kansas. You can also visit us online at unitedpatriotsupply.com. Be sure to say that Dr. Dan and DocTalk sent you, and we'll see you down the road.
Hey, I'm Clark Victory. I grew up right here on this little ranch near Chelsea, Oklahoma. Roped and ranched all my life. A few years ago, I had an injury that created what they call a frozen shoulder. And after speaking with the surgeon in Tulsa, he told me that he could make my shoulder better if he did surgery, but he absolutely couldn't fix it. And I called Kansas Regenerative Medical Center. I did the stem cell replacement. By 12:30, my wife and I had lunch and was driving back to Chelsea. We work around here. Some days we work pretty hard around here, and my right shoulder doesn't get sore. It's like a baby's arm.
The cost of an open cow these days is very expensive. It's hard at times to dedicate a half a day or a whole day to leave your practice to go palpate cows. And so Alertus Test has helped speed the process up of getting preg rates back to the owners, and so free up time for diagnostics or working in your clinic. It also will help generate revenue, not being on site to do the testing.
When it comes to treating BRD, you want a product that you can count on to get the job done at an affordable price. Macrosyn by Bimeda delivers on both. A straight shooting, no BS tulathromycin that does what it's supposed to do. End of story. You don't need to take our word for it though. Go to macrosyn.com for customer testimonials and head-to-head trial results. For your cattle and your bottom line, choose Macrosyn.
When the ones who have your heart need your help, count on us for everything they deserve, delivered fast. We'll work hard for you so you can work hard for your dreams.
Hey folks, welcome back to DocTalk. Dr. Dan Thompson here with Dr. Matt Spangler. We're at the University of Nebraska, where Dr. Spangler is a professor of animal genetics. He also serves the state of Nebraska as the Extension Beef Genetics Specialist. And when we look at beef genetics, it is such an integral part of our herds and breeding systems and all that. And Dr. Spangler is an international leader in that subject. So having him here is very special. But you've got a new tool, a new project you're working on.
We do. It's called iGenDec, and it's web-based decision support to allow beef cattle producers to sort bulls based on profit potential to their operation. Hopefully beef cattle producers are aware of selection indexes or economic selection indexes, so the dollar beef kind of things. But we realize that enterprises are unique. Your ranch isn't the same as my ranch. Your cow herd isn't the same as my cow herd, so maybe we need different things. What iGenDec does is allows a producer to go in a web platform and tell the system things about their cow herd. What do their cows weigh? How do their calves perform? What's the cow age distribution, preg rate? What's the annual variable cost to run a cow on their ranch? And what's the pricing schedule that their calves sell against, whether they sell at weaning or whether they retain ownership? The system uses that information to simulate their cow herd behind the scenes.
Okay.
And then based on that, it spits out the selection index that they should use to rank bulls. So relatively speaking, how important are different traits to their enterprise if they want to select to improve net profit? So I think it's a really exciting tool beef cattle producers can use. It's the output of a USDA grant. And we're a little bit proud that we have a USDA grant whose output now can be used by the U.S. beef industry.
Yeah, it's incredible. How do people find it? How do they get a hold of it?
So when we started this grant, we were mindful of not just building something that was really neat that no one would ever be able to use. So we quickly talked with the Beef Improvement Federation, or BIF, and they agreed to host this software.
Okay.
And so cattle producers can go to beefimprovement.org and they can find iGenDec there. BIF does charge an annual service fee to use it, but there's a free 30-day trial version so producers can kick the tires and see if it's something they're interested in using.
And the fees are necessary because it doesn't run itself, and it takes people behind the scenes and technical service and all that to help us when, especially someone like me that's calling them all the time and bugging them.
That's exactly right. The reality is BIF charges a fee to offset the costs of maintaining hardware, servers, that kind of thing. And so compared to software, it's a very nominal fee, and it makes it so any beef cattle producer that has internet access can make use of this software tool.
Perfect. Well, I just want to thank you for great information and taking time out of your day.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
It's great. This is Dr. Matt Spangler at the University of Nebraska. Thanks for watching DocTalk. Remember, if you want to find us on the web, you can find us at www.doctalktv.com. Always work with your local veterinarian. And if you want to find out more, go to the website, University of Nebraska Beef Extension. They have one of the best websites out there. Thanks for watching again today. I'm Dr. Dan Thompson with Dr. Matt Spangler, and we'll see you down the road.
At Merck Animal Health, we're shaping the future of animal health with pioneering science, connected technology, and insights-driven solutions to bring our customers an unparalleled portfolio of choices to improve cattle care and operational efficiency. We support you and your legacy by helping you meet the challenges of today with the innovations of tomorrow.
In the livestock industry, castration is a common practice to ensure proper herd management. All methods are painful, regardless of the age of the animal. At Solvit, we could not ignore the clear industry need for better castration solutions. So we developed Lidoband, a novel lidocaine-impregnated elastrator, addressing the pain associated with band castration. It provides local anesthesia throughout the castration process. Lidoband, a small device that can make a big difference.
It's the crews, cattle, and accolades that keep you striving for the best that's ever been. It's more than a banner or a great calf crop. It's everything you deserve. And for that, we're here with all you need. valleyvet.com